Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Ross here, and this is the battleship Nagato. Tier 7 battleship within the battleship line for the Japanese, and a very good Tier 7 battleship as well, especially when you compare it to the American Colorado. Now, some facts about this: it has 410mm cannons in dual-mounted turrets, and there's 4 of those, so that's 8 cannons total of 410mm. Now, it does not have a range upgrade when you actually get the ship, but it can still reach out to 20.5 kilometers, so you really don't need that extra gunfire control system mod. It does have 2 turrets, though, or 2 hulls, that is, so it is going to be quite a lot of experience that you're going to have to spend on it to go to the Magi at Tier 8. Some other things about this, though, is that the secondaries on this ship are just almost ridiculous for this tier. They're absolutely amazing. They have 20, count that, 20 140mm cannons, as well as 4 dual-mounted 127s. So when this gets into a close battle, the secondaries just go off constantly, and surprisingly actually very accurate too, especially when you compare it to other battleships. Nagato was named after Nagato province within Japan. It was first laid down in 1917, launched in 1919, and fully commissioned in 1920. It went over modernization during 1934 to 1936, and a little interesting fact, it was the Admiral Yamamoto, I butchered his name, flagship during the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Now, it didn't really see any combat during World War II. It was kind of just always on the fringe of things, and mostly spent its time in the homeland off the coast of Japan for training and stuff like that. It only fired its main guns in anger once, and then it went back to Japan, where it was fitted as a anti-aircraft platform and was attacked a couple times by the Americans when the Americans were trying to kill all the capital ships. And eventually was, at the end of the war, was used actually for target practice for the Americans' atomic weapon tests. Now, the ship's armor is actually pretty good, with its waterline armor belt at 305mm or 12 inches thick. It tapers down to 100mm at the bottom's edge, and also the turrets actually got an increase in armor during its refit, where its face armor was increased to 460mm and the side at 288mm. All that armor equates to the Nagato having a health pool of 65,000. When you compare that to the Colorado, which is at Tier 7 for the Americans, the Colorado only has 50,000 health points. So that is a difference of 15,000, which is actually quite concerning that the two battleships have such a huge difference in health. And the armor is actually pretty much the same. The Colorado has a little bit better protection for its citadel, as well. It might be a little bit smaller and angled as well. And the ship itself is more angled than the Nagato, and is also just shorter. So it's a little bit harder to hit that citadel, but the Nagato, you know, side by side, is a steps and leaps beyond what the Colorado is. It has a farther range, it has stronger cannons, and in my experience, is far more accurate. As you can see here, I'm laying down shells. I'm not getting his citadel because my aiming is kind of sucking, but nonetheless, I'm hitting him consistently, where his shots are not necessarily hitting me, and that wasn't the Colorado firing at me, but nonetheless, the Colorado's accuracy, when you compare it to the Nagato's, is, well, almost uncomparable between the two. So let's talk about this game right now. Now, this game, as you can see, has been winding down, and I am one of 2 ships left, and there's 3 enemy ships, and the Fuso in front of me just died. So now, it's just me.
You are the last hope.
And I am the last hope right now, being the last ship alive. 3 ships in front of me, 2 being battleships, 1 being the Cleveland, and now it starts to get hairy. I select my secondaries to concentrate on the Cleveland as he's facing away from my main turrets, and I lay down my main turrets down on the Colorado. Now, I don't really aim that well here. I should be aiming a little bit further to the right, and you can see my shells are not landing directly on him, and I'm getting hits, but it doesn't really matter because my secondaries finish him off. Now, On to the Cleveland here, and this could have gotten really dicey right here. He's definitely firing in, and that all his shots has landed, but only did 640 health, and that's just, you know, very well angled right there, and he's firing at the bow of my ship, and I could have rammed him here, but that would have taken a lot of HP from me and might have killed me, and then also caused flooding and all those bad things. So I avoid the ram narrowly, and now I'm going to try to engage him again, but you can see all those secondaries are just constantly firing into him and laying down pretty much into him very heavily. So he's dead now, and now it's time to move on to New York as he citadels me within that turn, and I really need to get angled here and pull this off. Turning my ship hard to the port side, I need to get in between this pass between these two mountains and engage him. Now we have the most points right here, and also we have the most captured points, so I could just go running and win it, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to go in here and get him. Now I take out his front turret right there, so already decrease the amount of damage that he can put out, and also he is facing a tier 7, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to, you know, not only penetrate me, but also do damage. Since it is a New York at tier 5, it's not necessarily a fair fight, but nonetheless, he did have me outnumbered, but he's been sitting back here the entire game, so he hasn't really been doing that much, but that's okay. We're going to finish him off and take this health pool down. Now, I just get high caliber and Confederate right there, so that means I took 30% of the health pool out of the entire team, as well as I fired at 6 different ships. I have 3 kills so far, but only 1 Citadel. 57 total hits, though, which I think will be surprising when you see at the end of the game actually how much damage I actually did. You can see there the glancing shots that he's putting into my bow. I'm taking some damage. It's not doing, you know, great, but he's closing in, and my secondaries are just firing, and it's just amazing how fast they're firing. And I'm getting my shots lined up, full broadside, Citadel, 5 hits, another freaking turret taken out, and my secondaries is what's going to finish him off here, which, again, is the second kill of secondaries, which is just absolutely amazing in my opinion. The end of battle results show 4 kills, 3,600 experience, 2,400 base experience, which is great, and 144,000 damage with AP, but another 7,000 done. Look at that, almost 8,000 done with secondaries. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now going from this game, I'm going to show you another game here where the secondaries were just wrecking things, and right here this destroyer is closing in on me. I'm going to take a couple shots here and see if I can do some damage, but you can see there it's only a mild 2,500 damage shot. He's at 3,371, and my secondaries are now rolling into him. And this is the power of the Nagato secondaries. I don't get another primary shot off on him before he dies. So I'm turning my ship actually not only to get the back turrets, but also more secondaries are engaging as I, you know, come more flat and the secondaries can engage. And they're engaging right here. I'm about to take my shot, but I take it and it's already dead. You gotta laugh. That's 3,300 damage. That destroyer just absolutely got wrecked. Now here I am against an Amagi. This is tier 8 Japanese battleship against a tier 7 Japanese battleship, and I don't necessarily play this very smart at all. I'm more than double his health right here, and I'm sailing in, and I'm trying to maintain my angle as well as get the right shots. And I'm also trying to wait for the shots to come in, and I'm trying to want to turn to get that, you know, right there, take that shot there, and then turn my back turrets. But then he turns into me, and now this is just becoming a mess, and I'm not actually taking any shots, and, well, just wasting time. And yeah, I could have at least got shots off from the front turret before, but, you know, stupid Ross did not think ahead, and yeah, now I'm getting into a worse situation. 42,000 HP for me, 13,000 for him, and here my secondaries start opening up on him, and I take the shots there to try to get it broadside on him, and he gets a little good, you know, snack on my health pool. But now again, 3,700 HP, my secondaries are already tearing into him. And just watch this. He was at 3,700 there, and the secondaries again are gonna finish him off. And there's another kill. Secondaries on this in the ship are absolutely insane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the battleship Nagato. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. It does mean a lot to me. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. As always, though, I'm the Flying Ross, and I'll check you guys next time.